And we've been joined in studio by a member who is a member of the Public Accounts Committee, the Honorable Simon Aworigo, for further discussions on this. You're welcome to ChannelOne Newsroom.
Thank you, man.
So you are doing in Accra so far your sittings, right?
Yes.
And so far, how many entities have come before you?
We've done about five. About five.
Which ones?
We've done education. We've done youth and sports. We've done works and housing.
So you are doing ministries?
We're doing ministries.
Oh, okay. Not departments, not agencies.
We're doing ministries for now.
For now?
Yeah, for now.
And you started when?
We started 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just like 3 days.
We're just like 3 or 4 days. Yeah. I think
what are some of the major irregularities that you've discovered as a committee that has come up for discussion?
So most has been unearned salaries, people who have not been to work and yet they got paid. Most have been responsibility allowance that has not been earned. Rent, people living in state bungalows not paying their rent. Contracts that have been awarded illegally because they didn't go through entity tender committees and those kind of things. Those are the things.
When you say unearned salaries and allowances, can you explain that further?
So you are supposed to have
examples you could
exactly. So you're supposed to be validated at the end of every month so that you get paid. So that if you didn't go to work, you don't get paid for it. I mean, in accordance with the Public Financial Management Act. And people get paid, and surprisingly, you don't know how that happens, but they get validated even though they did not attend work. And that in the month, they still get paid.
But is that not a Controller-General problem? Is that an individual's problem?
Yes, it is, because the head of the institution are supposed to make sure that they send the validation records so that to controller and they get paid. And so how those validation documentation get to controller and controller then pays them is the issue.
But if the people have been coming to work and the only thing is that there's not been validation, but they would be paid or they ought to be paid at the end of the month and they've received their money, that cannot be financial losses, can it? They
have not been coming to work. If they've been coming to work, fine. But the fact is that that's why it's on end, because they haven't worked for it. They haven't been to work. And that's why it's on end salary. Those are the issues. So they've earned money when they shouldn't have actually be paid for it.
So when you dig into the Auditor-General's report and you find all these infractions and irregularities, when you as a committee sit, review it, question the people, what happens?
So what happens is that, you know, the committee has the power of like a high court. And so we tell them to come and pay, we give them time. If you've been following our sittings, our hearings, you realize that we give them 30 days to pay. Some are given 60 days to pay. And some are asked to pay within a week, depending on the gravity of the offense, of the infraction. And so,
but what I've noticed is that, so for instance, I saw Pablo, the Minister for Youth Development, before you.
Yeah.
No, I think it was Kofi Adams, was it? No,
not Kofi Adams.
Yes, Pablo came there alongside the current YEA boss.
That's correct.
Basintali.
Yes.
These people were not at the helm of affairs of these institutions at the time these infractions occurred. So how are we expecting them to answer questions about things that may have happened last year? Because the audit report is about last year, right?
That's correct. It's 2024 report we're looking at now. And so because it's an ongoing institution, and of course heads will change, political heads will change and all of that, you've got chief directors. So you expect the chief director, who has been there for all these years and knows what has been going on, to be able to answer directly to the issues and how they came about. And so if the current political head does not understand or does not know how it happened, he'll defer to the chief director, whoever the principal spending officer, to answer those questions.
So when the heads come and you let them know that this is the infraction you've noticed and you say that someone should pay back, you let them know that go and tell your staff A or staff B to pay these monies.
Exactly.
So you don't tell the people themselves. It's not as if you drag the person who has engaged in the infraction to come and do that.
No, but the thing is that the Public Financial Management Regulation requires, the sections requires that the head of the organization or the chief director, principal spending officer, you pay if the staff fails to pay. Because it shouldn't have happened in the first place. You should have put in measures and processes to ensure that this does not happen. And because you did not do your work properly, and that money, which is public money, our money, ended up going to that person, you pay. So that next time when you're doing your work, you do it properly.
How huge are the sums we are talking about?
Oh, very huge.
And what's a guarantee that you can get all these monies back without possibly going to court and other fora?
Yes, some of them are very huge. Yes, we looked at some of the foreign missions, and some of them were in dollars and very huge sums. Ministry of Education was the biggest one with huge sums of money on end salaries and all those kind of irregularities. I think the Public Accounts Committee, apart from making recommendations, should be given the power to also do more to get those monies back.
Like
because
what? Because the Auditor-General has the power of disallowance and surcharge.
Exactly.
What do you want to have in addition to
so
that?
I am thinking that, yes, there's a power of disallowance and surcharge. And I remember in time past when Domingo was ahead, surcharge was a major source of making sure that we got the money back. It's gone very quiet. Can that be activated again? And again, can we inform the police to arrest those people?
I remember James Aveji, when he was chairing your committee, once or twice, he has ordered the police at the committees to arrest some people.
Yes.
And that happened. I don't know. So far, under your new chairperson, her name just escaped me.
Sorry, yeah.
She hasn't. What do you make of her chairmanship, by the way?
I think she's doing a good job. Okay. Because it was her government in power, she actually defers to the ranking, Mr. Honorable Samuel, Atamils, to do that, because it will not be fair for her to oversee her own people.
I see.
And so that's what happened. So it's been good. I mean, it's been very firm. I mean, if you've had time to watch the hearings, you realize that she's been very strong, and that's very good.
How do we forestall such irregularities? Because they keep coming every year. What do you think can be done to prevent them in the future?
I personally feel that the processes, especially the validation processes, need to be made more stringent, such that people cannot easily break them. Because you see, at some point, you see there's collusion. There's collusion between the staff and the people who approve validate these processes. And so I think that there should be a double process where if somebody validates, there should be a second eye to look at it and ensure that it's done properly. Because at this moment, it doesn't really serve the purpose, because people are going through it and people are still getting paid. And for me, what worries me much is that people who appear before you, you ask them about these violations. They agree the violation has gone on, and they don't seem to really care so much. I mean, some of it is still ongoing. So you ask the question, has this stopped? And they tell you, no, it's still ongoing. So the question is, if you know something is wrong, and it's even appeared on the auditor's report, and yet you do nothing about it. And so I feel that there should be more punitive measures put in place to ensure that it stops.
Thank you so much, Honourable Member of Parliament for Navrugu Central, for joining us. He is a member of the Public Accounts Committee here on Channel One Television. We'll be bringing you excerpts and actually live proceedings of the Public